Hello and welcome to the International Training School here in Ipswich. And today what I'd like to do is talk you around the HM600. This is the Ransomes 3-deck flail mower. All 3 decks can be independently used, so even as you see it here with all 3 down, we can lift any one up, have any combination that you could possibly think of. The machine itself was designed and built here in Ipswich, but in conjunction with Muthing, who actually designed the flails for us. So we've gone with a trusted company for the flails, and it gives a superb finish with the flails combined with the Ransomes power unit. And the power unit is basically our MP range chassis. So 65 horsepower, stage 5 engine. So we've got that cleaner engine on there, keeping all the emissions down within legal limits. The great thing about the HM600 is power, strength, reliability and operator comfort. The version you see here is the full cab version, but we do it with a ROPS frame that folds down as well. And the great thing about the cab, even the ROPS frame version as well, they're on a rubber mounted ISO platform, so the vibration is not coming up through the machine. It keeps it a lot quieter for the operator and a lot more comfortable. The cab itself, you can see, has all rounded glass. And what the rounded glass does, it reduces the noise in the cab. So when you have solid flat panes of glass, the noise waves can actually bounce off of them and make the noise louder inside. But using curved glass, it disrupts those sound waves, so keeps it a lot quieter in there. The front windscreen itself is a heated windscreen, so when you're taking it out on cold days, condensation very quickly goes from the outside of the window, so it keeps a real good visibility for road and for grass cutting. And we can see we've got lights all the way around, options of lighting kits, beacons, an all-round good machine. So starting around the back of this machine, we've got the indicators actually on movable stalks. So what we can do, when you're doing road work, put them down so that everybody can see the proper width of the machine with your lights. But when you're doing your mowing, to save any damage, and when you're getting up close to things, we can lift those light stalks out of the way so that we can get really close to things. We have the hydraulic reversing fan, either manual operation or timed operation. So when we get any grass build up on the back here, we can, on a timed system, it will automatically blow off any grass. And you can actually put that into a manual mode, so if you were actually on the road and there was some grass on there, it wouldn't blow off over anything following you. With the bonnet in the position like so, but with the side panels still on, the operator can get in there and do his daily maintenance checks. So for the oil, water, air filter, all easily accessible. But what can then happen is when the service technician needs to service the machine, without any tools, we can take both side panels off and get into the engine much easier. So, really thought out well and allow the service technician to get where he needs to and the operator to get where he needs to for his daily checks. I've taken off the left-hand side panel, so you can see now the external filters. So engine oil filter here, fuel filter here. The hydraulic filter is just tucked up underneath. Again, very easy to get to. It's out of the way, but very easy to get to underneath. And again, all easy access for the service technician to get to. The 3 flail decks on this machine. We've got this one up in the air just so that you can have a little better look around it. So we've got 2 caster wheels on the front, which keep the front up and do your front height of cut. There's a rear roller on the back with adjustment, again, for extra range for your height of cut. We've uprated the bearings in the rollers now with shrouded bearings, so we're not going to get anything wrapped around them. The machine is actually belt drive from a hydraulic motor to the flail shaft. And what that does, by having a belt on there, it's just like a bit of fuse in the system. Should you wrap anything around the main shaft here that you didn't see in the long grass, you know, the belt in there will allow it just to slip, instead of making any serious damage to any of the components. So just an added bit of safety. Because all the flails are loose hanging, if they do hit something hard, they have that ability to just knock out of the way without causing any damage to the flails. Skid plates on the side, removable, so if you're running these up and down curbstones all the time and they do wear away, they're designed as a wear-in part, so you don't wear the main chassis of it away, you actually just change the wear plate as and when it needs changing. So really thought out about how this machine will be used, because we can use these in a variety of applications. A lot of people think of a flail just being a jungle buster. And yeah, it will cut through a lot of grass and weeds, but also somewhere where you've got a relatively fine finish. Because we've got the rear roller on, it will give us a very nice stripe. And because of the design of the flail, the grass clippings come out the full width of your cutting width. So we're getting a really good dispersal of grass clippings. There's also a little line of shark's teeth in here that help shred those grass clippings. So it's really starting to break them down so to help them rot away much quicker. Greasing on either end of your rollers, on your jockey wheels, and either end of your rotor shaft. The belt itself does have a little slot in the top so that you can check the belt tension without having to take all your guards off. Again, making life a lot simpler for the operator. Spending all day in this cab is a nice place to be. So we've got movable steering wheel, we've got a full air suspension seat, armrests on each side, so we can get really comfortable. The cab itself is ISO mounted, so no vibration coming up from the power unit. We've got air conditioning, heating, radio, everything you should need for a full day's work. Lots of storage space as well. So nice place to be for the day. We've got 3 individual levers here for your 3 cutting units, used in any combination you can possibly think of. And the dash down here, we've got your rotary electric throttle. We've got transport locks for the decks, so once you've lifted them up you can lock them so they won't drop down accidentally. 4-wheel drive standard going forwards, reverse goes down to 2-wheel drive, but the option to press the switch and have 4-wheel drive going backwards. Cruise control, we can, through the screen, the supervisor can enable or disable cruise control so the operator can use that. So great for long passes, reduces fatigue. But also on that note, the pedal for your forward and reverse is electrically controlled. So you're not having to push a mechanical cable against hydraulic pressure. It's a lot less fatigue for the operator's leg. We have a screen on here, and once we go into the screen through the pin number, there's a lot of things we can do. We can do some diagnostics on the machine. We can also set up how the decks operate. So we can actually do it so that they come to a cross-cut position, or on a more manual mode, so you can just lift them a little bit off the ground and be in slightly different control of the machine. But everything is centered around the operator. There's a lot of comfort in here. We do actually have an extra opening window on the right hand side. Great if you're coming into council yards that have a key code to get into the gate. You can easily do it through the window here. So even though this is a flail machine with 65 horsepower to get you through the real long stuff, it's actually a sort of multi-purpose tool as well. It works really well on lighter grass as well, so sports pitches and even undulating ground, because the way the decks are mounted to the machine with the rear roller and the 2 caster wheels at the front, it does allow that deck to float, in a much better way than a standard rotary would. So we're going to allow it to follow contours much better. And this is what gives it this all-round use. Yeah, we got that power, so going through longer grass, but you've also got the ground following contours ability for shorter grass. So it makes it a real all-round machine, usable in a variety of applications, so for municipal and also for golf and other sports as well.